Hey, this is Brent Jensen. You're listening to No Sleep Till Sudbury, the show where we talk about the music that makes your skin vibrate. The show is brought to you by Pariah Pickups, handcrafting the very best guitar pickups, all the way down in Detroit, Rock City. Check them out at pariahpickups.com. All right, welcome to the No Sleep Till Sudbury Christmas 2022 episode. Today I wanted to share another one of my Christmas playlists that's on pretty regular rotation here at the Jensen house over the holidays. Now, the playlist that I shared last year had more obvious Christmas selections on it, and it's still my go-to, but this one gets quite a lot of airtime here too. The third playlist I have is mostly all Christmas jazz selections, and I rotate the three in with some old classic Christmas records that I like. Scott Weiland's Christmas album, The Most Wonderful Time of the Year, of course, and another record lately called Put Up the Lights by The Bird and the Bee. Highly recommended. Okay, so let's get into this playlist. Now, I might not get to all the songs on it, but I'm going to post a link to it on my Spotify page, and you can go through it and take what you like and leave what you don't. This playlist is a little bit more curated than the one I shared last year, and I tried to achieve a certain flow with it. It almost has two parts, joined in the middle of the playlist by two fairly traditional Christmas favorites, and then finishing with an old Bing Crosby classic chestnut at the very end. Lots of variety, and I hope that you find something in there that you like. Okay, here we go. The first song on this playlist is the title track from a Christmas album by a guy named Kelly Finnegan called A Joyful Sound. Finnegan's a soul singer from Los Angeles whose dad was a sideman for artists like Jimi Hendrix and Joe Cocker. And while I wouldn't necessarily call this a conventional Christmas record by any stretch, it's unique and it's pretty cool, and I recommend it. The title track is just a little eerie, and it serves as a great lead-off to this playlist. The next song is Carol of the Bells by Libera. You'll remember that this song is also on the playlist I talked about last year, but I can't help myself. Carol of the Bells is one of the greatest Christmas songs, in my opinion, and this version is absolutely perfect. It's a must. People who know how much I love hard rock and heavy metal will likely squint when they hear this next selection, called Christmas Time Is Here by Megan Smith. But I love it this time of year. Great horn lines, it's upbeat, and it's got this super great Christmas vibe. No-brainer for me. And next up we have a unique jazz rendition of We Three Kings by Jane Lynch. With rich vocal harmonies, crisp, beautiful musicianship, and some really cool arrangements too. I love this version, and it gets played a lot here over the holidays. Now here's one by a band that I mentioned earlier and also last year. It's an indie duo called The Bird and the Bee. The song is called Merry Merry, as in Merry Christmas, and it keeps the upbeat vibe going. Now, like I said earlier, this whole record, Put Up the Lights, is a holiday favorite of mine. They also do a rendition of Little Drummer Boy on this record, featuring none other than Dave Grohl. Check it out, it's a great Christmas record. All right, this one's a fun instrumental called Mark the Halls by Andrew Morgan Smith and the Lifetimers. I know it's typically Deck the Halls, but that's what this song is called. It's fun because it's done in kind of a bebop jazz style. Very upbeat, very funky. And from there we go into another funky little number called Jingling by Harbor Lights. It's done in an old classic style that's produced in such a way to make it sound older than it is. Again, it's fun. It's new. This next song is by an act named Pomplamoose, and it's very much in the same vein as The Bird and the Bee. The song is called Here We Come A-Caroling. Another feel-good tune. Hey, it's Christmas time. It's a feel-good time. Next is a classic with a new twist. Andrew Hamilton's version of Little Drummer Boy is probably the grooviest version of the song that I've ever heard, and while it would probably make Bing Crosby wince, it's a lot of fun. I like it. All right, here comes the turn now. Classic songstress K-Star is up next, doing The Man with the Bag, a song written way back in 1950. A lot of people have covered this holiday gem over the years, but none quite capture the class and the style that the great K-Star demonstrates here. I love this number. And now we have the much-loved Canadian Christmas crooner, Mr. Michael Bublé, doing an excellent version of Jingle Bells with the super talented Papini sisters backing him up. They do such an amazing job with the arrangement of this version, with a healthy nod to that classic big band sound, and some really cool interplay between Bublé and the sisters. This is by far my favorite Bublé Christmas track, and there's some good ones. You also heard mention of this next track last year, but again, it's just too essential. This is Boney M's Mary's Boy Child, Oh My Lord. It's a Christmas classic that I just can't leave out. This song is just pure Christmas calypso gold, my friends. Rah, rah, Rasputin. All right, so now we enter the second half of the playlist, which features rock artists that I like doing their versions of Christmas tunes. And this stuff is just lighthearted fun. On my first playlist we talked about last year, you hear Springsteen doing Santa Claus is Coming to Town, U2 with Christmas, Baby Please Come Home, Sleigh Ride by the Ronettes, McCartney, Wonderful Christmas Time, all those. But here we have the lesser knowns, beginning with 2,000 Miles by Chrissie Hynde and the Pretenders. They released the song as the second single from their third studio record, Learning to Crawl, back in 1984. This song is kind of like Joni Mitchell's River, in the sense that, well, it's not really an overt Christmas song instrumentally and doesn't reference Christmas in the title. The lyrics do indicate that it's related to a Christmas theme. My boy Billy Squier is up next with Christmas is the Time to Say I Love You. Squier released this in 1981 as a B-side to his single My Kinda Lover. And around Christmas time, he recorded a video for the track with the VJs from MTV. The background revelers you can hear in the original recording were mostly music industry people from record companies and radio stations in Philadelphia and New York City. They were invited to add some background atmosphere to the track. Another Billy is next with an original and super campy Christmas composition. This is called Christmas Love, and it's from punk rocker Billy Idol. But the song is anything but. It's endearing, it's goofy, and I think it made its way into the Jensen playlists a long time ago for that very reason. It's just a very unusual Billy Idol release. But, I mean, it's lighthearted again, it's playful, it's a bit cheesy, and it's very much in the spirit of the season. I really like it, so it sticks around. Brother Tom Petty checks in next with Christmas All Over Again, another song that shows another side of the artist that we don't normally see. Tom always had a great sense of humor, and it definitely shows through in this song. Father Christmas by the Kinks fits in right here, with a sneering Kinks guitar riff and chord progression, lyrics mocking the commercial aspects of Christmas. Classic Kinks. The song was released by the Kinks in 1977, and it's about a mall Santa being rolled by Ray Davies and the Kinks gang for money, not useless toys. Julian Casablancas of Strokes fame has a Christmas song called Christmas Treat that I recently included in this playlist as a big Strokes fan. And again, like the previous handful of songs, this one is meant to be just a lighthearted, amusing nod to Christmas. And it certainly is. The last of the rockers here is from the Black Crowes, taking it back a little closer to that soulful Christmas vibe of old, instrumentally, but with a similar brand of good old-fashioned double entendre lyrics that the old blues guys were known for. This song in particular is called Backdoor Santa. So, you get the idea. Now, people who know me often ask about the lack of heavy metal versions of Christmas songs in my playlists, but for me, heavy metal and Christmas don't blend particularly well, unless they're bridged by some neoclassical, big orchestral element, which is why the Trans-Siberian Orchestra sold 10 million copies of their records and counting. TSO's Christmas Eve Sarajevo was in an earlier playlist of mine from years ago, and I do love it. But I tend to just listen to that band's entire records this time of year because they're so unique, and it's more of a vibe that's a little bit removed from the stuff that I described in this playlist and last year's. For me, and I know this isn't the case for everybody, and I respect that, but the idea of the Christmas holidays and heavy metal just don't mix at all. As such, this playlist concludes with a classic, just to finish it off in good taste. Bing Crosby's Do You Hear What I Hear? From all the way back in 1963. Folks, I am a sucker for tradition, and I am a worshiper of the classics. And hey, we all know Bing Crosby was a rock star in his time. So it works, right? All right, there you have it. The second most popular playlist of Christmas songs heard throughout the Jensen house this time of year. Called upon when family and friends start to complain about the first one. With the holiday season now in full swing, I hope I was able to introduce you to at least one or two selections you can add to your playlists. And I've made the playlist available to the public and included a direct link in the show notes here, so help yourself. And as always, you're encouraged to reach out to me with some of your favorites. I'd love to hear what you're listening to over the holidays. And with that, my friends, this concludes the No Sleep Till Sudbury programming schedule for 2022. I know the episodes have been fewer and farther between lately as I work on some other projects, but the No Sleep Till Sudbury podcast marches on. I sincerely thank each and every one of you for your support this year and in years past, and I wish you all the very best Christmas that you can possibly enjoy. Merry Christmas to you and your families, and all the very best to you over the holiday season and into the new year, everyone. This has been No Sleep Till Sudbury with Brent Jensen. Till next time, take good care.
Brent Jensen is the best-selling author of No Sleep Till Sudbury, Leftover People, and All My Favorite People Are Broken. All titles available in stores and on Amazon worldwide.